Hi everyone. Let me explain what I'm going in here and what we're trying to do here. I've been reading your comments and I see that people are having trouble trying to figure out what push one should look like. I also see some people out there putting clips on charts and they're floating all over the place. The guy seems like he's having a great time, but we can't have him floating around. And then on the classic movement, I think that's all me right there. Uh, I think a lot of the charts I picked last time were unclear at best. I'll be kind to myself. And I've had to go through a change or an evolution in my thought process because I deal with this every day. I know it cold like the back of my hand, and it's right there. It's as clear as anything. And for me to tell somebody else about it, I sort of expect them to understand it, but then you can't because you've never seen it before. So I've got to go through an evolution of my thinking process so that I can take my thoughts and turn them around and present them to people in a way that it's clear to them, not just to me, but also to them. So that's what I'm trying to do in this particular video. Because there were questions on push one. I want to really show you how what push one should look for and how you can decide how it's working. I want to give you some constraints as far as how it should act. And then, of course, we got to readdress the clip. I want to show you how to do it a lot easier than we had done before. We'll start with just push one in it. And then the classic movement, well, as I said, that's all me. I don't think the setups that the charts I picked were clear enough. I think they're a bit muddy. So we're going to try and clarify all these things. So let's hop into it. This is EU from yesterday. I mean, not yesterday. It was Friday, the November 8th, and we put our clip on our numbers, and we go 1, 2, 3. Stop punch push one, and it's boring. Yes, I know. I know. I have seen comments out there saying, well, what's going on in the higher time frame? We need to know what's going on in the higher time frame. You do? Yes, but here, I'll show you. Okay, here's EU. This is what we're looking at on for Friday. Okay, and here we are. To get to here, we have to know where we came from. So we came from over here. This is our low. See how the TDI was way outside the bands here? Okay, so that's a real aggressive stop hunt. So from there, you got a one up, you got a 1, 2. It came back and stop hunted push one, but it also took out the push. This push one's pullback. So we have a whipsaw in here. So we have a one up, a two up with a whipsaw of a one. So what we're looking for, we're looking for three nice strong moves up and then a one down. So we got one up, we got two up, and this two has a reverse divergence in it, so we're looking for another three going up. So we had one in here, you'd see it on a lower time frame, then the two going up, and this came back and it stop hunted. It came back below our push one pullback, so we have another whipsaw. So we go up, it goes up fast, comes down fast. What do we have in here? Well, if you look over here, you see all these blue lines. Those were that's the high of day of previous day. So we've got a good group in there, and but we never came down here. We came back and we got right in here. See how we have a little. That's where reversal traders would have gone long. Okay, so we're getting all of these people, and let's see, we're getting way outside the bands. We got two things outside the band, so we're looking for a pop up. So pop up, of course. We got one going up. We got the two going up. We actually have looks like 1, 2, but we're coming down into here. We reverse divergence. Let me see. Yeah, this is for one right there. This is the pullback on one. So we're below it. So that means we've got the end of a push two. Okay. Plus it's a bounce. It's a 1 hour bounce. Those are usually pretty strong. So we've got our movement going up in there. And what do we got? We got one. We got a two. Looks like another full movement, and then it just goes blasting right up into three. So what's going on in here, news-wise? This was Tuesday. Tuesday, the U.S. had its elections, and then Wednesday morning, well, it wasn't really Wednesday morning. After 5, that's when nation starts forming up. It's after 5. The news reports are coming out showing that Trump had a big lead over Harris. So what did they do? What the market makers do? They pinged Tuesday's day by a couple pips, and boom, down they went. My God, look at that. Look at here. How they get there? Look at this. On the hour chart, you had an engulfing short bar, but it went long. And here you had an engulfing bullish bar, but they went short. Look at that, huh? They do the same thing. They do a mirror image. If they're going one way, they do a mirror image coming the other way. So the price came way the heck down here. And so what do you see down here? Well, I can see 1, 2, 3 down here. That's like a olive board type movement. We'll see if it works out. Coming up here, it's not really clear. But why did it come up way up to here? Well, this is a good target for it. Why is it a good target? Because it hit it? No. The logic is, you see how the price came down and see how far it was away from the catch-up? How it never touched the catch-up again until way down here? That's quite a while to be away from it. When it's that, when it takes a long, when it's away from the catch-up for quite a while, it usually goes back to the Mayo. Okay, that's one thing. So why else is it good here? See this right here? That's the middle of Asia. It's 50% back from the high. That's another good point. Look at over here. See these group of this thing right here? Just stop hunt on that. We have breakout traders who are trying to go short right in there, but you see how it came down to it, stopped a little bit short, then just bolted down and bolted up. Well, it didn't fill them right there. It fills them down in here. So coming in here, that's a logical place for it to be for on those three things. Plus, we went way outside the bands here, and we've gone. It was a little bit the band went slightly below the 50, but then we got a nice shark fin outside. So all of those things together make this a good point for a reversal. It's logical there. So let's look at that on the 30-minute. Again, we still got that stuff up in there. Down here, we still see our all on board, and from here going up, what do we see? I can see a 1 going up. I can see a 2 going up. Well, it looks like 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Maybe. But then look at this. See this right here? Baseline bounce. Where do you get baseline bounces? Well, we can get them on push 1 pullback or push 2 pullback. So we got all this action in here. That indicates that's a push 2 pullback. So from there, what do we have? We have 1 up, we got 2 up. Came back and stop at 1. Classic. And then we have movement going up into here. We already figured out that's a good point. Okay, then coming from that point down, what do we see? We got 1 down, push up, pull back. We got 2 down. Oh, it looks like a nice, what the heck do they call it? 30-minute bounce off the 50 line. You're right. And see this red line right in here? That's last week's low of week. So they're playing it. They're playing that, the 50 line. So they go up there and they whipsaw this. So the whipsaw comes down, up, and then it gets the heck out of there. It gets out of there pretty quick. So let's see if we have these other things confirming it. So we'll look at the next time frame. 15 minutes. Oh, 15 minutes has a beauty of a whipsaw in here, huh? Then look at this. Came down 1. That's 1 down. Okay, let's push 1 down. So what do we have on our 5-minute chart? Remember we said this is 1 down, then we came down to 2, and then look at what we have in here. Where you've got a 1 up, a 2 up, whipsaw. Whipsaw goes fast up to 3 and fast out. There it goes. Okay, so then, and then this whipsaw, look how far outside the bands it goes. It went outside that, came back and clipped these guys here, the classic traders. We're also in the middle of this push 1 pullback. From here to up there, we're right in the middle. That's a good logical place for it. It looks really sweet. I'd be excited about it. And then coming down here, look at this. Baseline bounce, so I'd say we got a 1 down. Okay? So what's it look like on the 5-minute? Oh, we've already seen it here. But you want to know how to trade this stuff. That's what we're looking for, huh? Okay. So on here, we can still see our 1 up. We got a 2 up. We got a whipsaw of this, and we're going up into here. We already clarified that is a beautiful position. So how do we get in there? Look at how the RSI is way outside the bands in here. It's way up the nosebleed. The RSI is the nosebleed area, but the bands have stayed down here because it's so fast. All right. So then this looks like a good place because it's the end of a whipsaw. We like to get into the end of a whipsaw because it goes up so quickly. Well, it's no, it comes out quickly. So we've got a good place here to get in, a good place up here to look for to get in. Over here we have a reverse divergence right in here. Okay, that's good. Over here we've got um, what do we have? I'm sorry, we got a reverse divergence. We have a 5 minute bounce reverse divergence, and unless I miss my guess, we got the three pushes in there. So that came down. That's good. But then we also have, look at this. Look at this. This is where the price really dropped off. So what do we have in here? What do we have? Does it look any good? We'll have to look at that on the 1 minute because you identify your direction with a higher time frame. You do your count and analysis on the 5 minute time frame, and then you go in and look for entries on the 1 minute. Sorry, you guys don't have a tick on the forex stuff, so we'll go with the 1 minute. So what do we have on the 1 minute? From over here, looks like we have one up, then we have one, two, with a three pullback push. Came back, stop 101. That's a classic. Then we have one, two, three up. Okay. So from there we got one down. We got what do we have? Okay, we have a two down. We have a reverse divergence with a 1 minute bounce. So that's our push two pullback. So it looks like we have a one here, a two, probably a little whipsaw in there again. Down quickly. Look what they did. They took this pullback out by a pip. So what was that? They induced people short here. They got all the longs on push one here. They took them out because they were a break even, and then they went vectoring up there. So in the 1 minute, looks like we did a classic. On the 5 minute, which is a higher time frame, that showed a whipsaw. You have to go with a higher time frame count. The higher time frame count was one up, two up, whipsaw up. So what do we got in here? Here it is, right there. It came up, it came down. Remember, this is the last week's low of week. They're playing that number. Okay? So look at this line. It's just a pure vector. What have I told you they have? They have time and speed. Is that not speed? It comes up here, it comes back and goes into there. Now, what would tell us if that's great, other than looking over there? Look at down here. This is absolute nosebleed territory for the bands being way up here. Up above the 63. I mean, the 59 is way down there. It's up there. But what else do we have? We have a baseline balance. Can't look any cleaner and prettier than that. Okay? Yes, you do get baseline bounces on the pullback of push one and push two. But you do also get them at the extremes. Not that often, but when they're there, they're as sweet as anything. So how do you enter that? Well, if you can't enter it right there, as soon as you get that one red bar in there, you can enter right there. Or you could have put a pending right above that and would have filled you on the way up. You just have to make sure that you'd have to have done your homework on this thing to know how much of a stop you would need. You could either do it that way, or when this turns red, right there on that, right there. That's where you go. So it came ripping down here, and then over here, what do you have? Over here, see, you got a 1 minute bounce with an RD outside the bands right there. See right there, the RSI is higher, but the prices are lower. You got a reverse divergence right there. It comes ripping right down there. So from here, what do you have? Well, coming in here, I can see one up. I can see two up. Then I can see one, two, and it goes on into three. Okay, yeah, one up, two up. It's a classic. One up, two up. It's another classic. Okay, so then three goes up in here. You go, oh, okay. Now what's going on here? We got no reverse diversions. We have no diversions at all. We're just going up in there and going slammo. Well, we have a reverse divergence of all these guys here. Okay, but this was the 5 minute reverse divergence with the three pushes in it. We can see one, two, three in there. So how can we figure out to justify making a reversal right in here? I mean, making an entry right up in here without waiting for it to hit the mail. Because it doesn't always hit the thing that you're looking for. People are looking for it to come up here and bounce off of that. They don't want they don't want all these extra people hopping in. So they'll stop you short. So what else tells you that it's good for here? Well, look at these other two things, like over here and over here. See over here? You got this and then this. You got a price went the RSI went outside the bands. Next one it didn't. It went a little bit higher. A lot of people call this a diversion anyway because it stayed inside the bands. Over here, you had a definite diversion. The RSI was way up here. The price went higher. It stopped down here. Okay, so it changes every time. Every pattern will be different as far as how it hits the peak. This is the best one. This is a lousy one. And here we are up here. This is still good. This still works quite well. And plus, also look at the time. That tells you something. And then what else tells you something? Look at this right here. See how you got down, your price came, well, the RSI came down here. You got a reverse divergence in there, right in there, and over here. You got a reverse divergence. Didn't work, did it? You got a second bounce off of it, going up. Then that clipped down. Didn't work. When you get the two reverse divergences that don't work, go with it, go another way, because it's a failed pattern. Okay, so that justifies you coming down here. So what do you got over in here? Over in here, I can see 1, 2, 3 up. Okay, it comes back lower than that. I don't know if it's a whipsaw or not. I don't think so. Okay, but we got a 1, a 2, and then we have 3 coming up here, and 2 comes back and stop hunts this. We have another classic, and then we just pop up there. So what makes this one here so special about getting an entry in here? Well, you've induced longs past this. You've induced longs past that because that's where the price really started clipping out. So they like to come back in at that. You also take this across. You see we have breakout traders who went short through here, and you're also around the 50 line. So that makes good sense to be in there. Also, look at, see these two pushes in here? What did we just tell you about over here? You got potential reverse divergence right there, between there and there. Didn't happen. Went up and came back down again. Another reverse divergence in here. Didn't happen, did it? So if you put a trend line in here, which works quite well up top, right at the very beginning, you know you can either take a short right there, or if you're nervous about it, you're nervous silly, you wait till it closes down here, then you go short right in there. Your stop is much bigger, but it's still a safe trade because you can see how it goes down there. And then here, okay, see we get another reverse divergence right in here, right in there versus here, between here and here. Boom, down it goes. All right, so you got all that? Can you say you got it? Probably not. If you did, can you do this? Look at this. This is what I did today. It's Monday. Monday the 11th. This is West Texas oil. U.S. oil. So we got a 1 up, we got a 2 up. Ah, look at that whipsaw. And then we got a 3 up. What is this? A 1 minute bounce, 1 minute RD, 3P. Yes, those work great. Okay, obviously. So we go in there. Target was right here. They hit it. Hit the target twice, but no fill. So what do? I select the stop right down. I'm not going to let them go away. So I came out with 45 versus the 50. That happens. So it's a 9-1. Okay. And then look what we have over here. We have another 1 up. We have a 2 up. A pullback. Ah, I entered there. I said, yeah. Let's see if this thing goes up. It's been in here for a while. I mean, they're faking you out here. Didn't go below it, and then they should go up here because this is the opening in New York. Let's see what's going on. So what happened? I entered here. My target was up here. So what happened here? With this movement up here, we got a 5-minute reverse divergence with this price over here. Got a 5-minute reverse divergence showing. So I go, oh boy, that's not good. So I was just waiting for it, and it came when it was over in here. I said it's just not going to do it. I dropped my target down below here because I was looking for making an entry short. I figured it was going to come up and hit this spot, give me a M off of this, and then come down. So that's where my entry was. It was right below that. So it hit it, came down and popped up a little bit more. Came exactly even with this. With a 5 pip stop, I was still safe by a couple of pips. 5 pips, you're always going to be safe by just a couple of tips if you stay in. So, so that's what I did. I just hit that, and boom. So you see, one, two, into three, and it comes right out of there fast, man. Plus, there's a reverse diversion. So, what it looked like live, here it is. You see where you get the price here and the price there. Same price. This price did not go higher, but look at the RSI. From outside the bands, hit the 50 line, we get an RS reverse divergence there, so down it came. So can you say, yeah, I can do that. I can handle it. Can you really say that? Yeah, probably not. Why? Because you have to go through an evolution in the way you think about trading. You, I'm presenting things that are entirely different from everybody else. Otherwise, you'd pick up on it right off the bat. There wouldn't be this confusion right off the start here. So we have to get you to work on changing the way you think about things. Like there are some people say there's some pools of liquidity up there that makes the price go. Somebody's got some big order up there saying, I want to go short here, I want to go short here. Big order, giant order, and they, when it gets up close to the price, poof, it disappears. And then down it comes. Well, you know what? You look on the dome, and you can look up here. I've seen orders 700, 800, 900 share contracts up in here for a short. Yeah, price comes up close to it, didn't hit it, and then it came down. Then it kept going down. But I went back up there. Guess what? Those contracts are still sitting there waiting for somebody to come up and hit them. Then I've also seen other times I have a huge order up in here, comes up close to it, doesn't hit it, and pulls back, gets wound up, and then boom, it just slams right through it. So these mysterious pools of liquidity, they just don't exist. I mean, if you can't see it, how can you say it's there? Plus, look at this here. Have you ever wondered what's going on with the dome? You say, oh yeah, look at all the sellers and look at all the buyers. Everybody's going to buy down here. They want to sell up here. What about this stuff in here? How come you don't see anything in there? Are you saying nobody wants to buy up in here for a breakout trade? You're saying no one wants to sell down here for a breakout trade? No. This is the deal the market makers have with all the platform people. They say, you want to work our stuff? You can't show them everything. You can only show them half. So the game is rigged against you. And don't believe these fables. And then also, like, there's no points of support or resistance. How often do you hear that when you're out there trading? You say, oh, it hit support or hit resistance. Like you got to come down one, you got down two, comes back. You know, that's a classic. And what are they doing in a classic? They'll stop hunting the people who got the direction right. It's not support or resistance. They're cleaning out the people who got it right so they can make more money. They don't give a damn about the public, you. It's their pocket they're worried about. Okay? And there's no smart money that goes into the extreme of a move, unless of course you're with me. Well, had to put that in there. Because look at it this way. All the smart money goes in at the peak. Boom, they got all their investments put in there. They bought all the shares, or they sold all the contracts that they're going to do. So they sold it. It's done. Why does the price keep going? The price keeps going because the market maker balanced the books at that point, and it makes it in their interest to go the opposite direction. That's what pushes the market up or down. It's the market makers who do that. You ever see at the end of the day where the price is just sitting right there within like a 3 or 4 pips? You can see this furious bouncing back and forth, 3 or 4 pips, bouncing up, bouncing up. People want to trade, but there's no one there to move the market because the market makers are done for the day. So they just let people sit. It's the market makers' movement of the price that gets things going, and they do it according to what's in their book. That's it. So even though you're going through this evolution, you got to change all your thoughts about these things. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to go through all the different movements in detail. I'm going to try and explain them a lot better than I had before. Okay? We'll cover the classic and the whipsaws the first two because you see them the most. You just saw them in all the pushes I was marking out to, showing you. They're there. They're all over the place. Not always on the 5 minute, not always on the 15, not always on the 30, but they're there. So as I show you more movements, Okay, and we've already covered one, and then we're doing a new movement. And if I see like the whipsaw, the classic, or whatever else next we cover, and it shows up in a sub movement, I point it out to you. So you start to see how all the different movements come together. I'll tell you that as an aside. You can see how they interact. Okay? Then we're going to go through a thorough examine of the TDI. I've pointed out some things to you where the RSI goes outside the bands, or the bands go way up in the nosebleed territory, or the other place around. You know, there's definite logic to that, and there's definite scenarios where you can say, yeah, this is the place to get in, or you wait for the next one, like we had on the divergence what's it, on the classic movement in the Euro for Friday. You know, there's stuff in there it clarifies so much for you when you really understand what's going on in the TDI. And then we're going to go through the different. After we've done that, we're going to be able to go through the different setups and show you how to enter them, place your targets, and set your stops. The setups are like what I was showing you, where we're talking about the whipsaw. Get in on whipsaw. You can get in on a classic bounce. You can get in on those 5 minute, 1 minute, hour, 30 minute bounces. There's a lot of places you can get in. And so we're going to go over those things as far as the different ways you can do your entry, because I'm sure not everyone wants to enter the same way I do. Okay, so that's all the things we're going to be doing. So what I'm asking you to do is please just focus on the charts I'm going to be giving you, because I am picking them out now so that they're a lot clearer and more in line with the description that I'm giving them for the movement. I'm going to try and stay away from the cloudy charts. So once we're through those charts, then everything else will go along a lot smoother. So please stick with me until that point. Okay? So what are we going to do? We're going to start off with push one, because people were questioning, how do I know where push one is? We already went through this on the analysis, so I'm not going to go through it again. What I want to do is I want to focus on this guy, this one right in here. Okay, and I want to focus on this part in here. So here we are. We get to just push two down, pull back, and then we have three pushes coming down. Now then, what does push one up look like? That's what we want to focus on right here. We've got a three down. What should you expect on one going up? Okay, you've got a point right here, and on your sub push two pullback, you've got that point. And you also have your trend line coming down. Okay, push one is rarely going to go past this point here, induced breakout traders, and to go past this. It could go by one or the other, but rarely will it go past both of them. Okay, so then what you're going to usually see is you're going to see price coming up like this. See how it can go past the trend line a little bit, but it didn't take this out. All right, and then you're going to see it pull back. And what are you going to see? You're going to see it come up slightly and come back a little bit, and then it's going to pop. That's what you should be seeing. It's going to pop up. You got a one there. You're going to get your 1, 2, 3, or for your two up there. Then that's going to come back and stop hunting one in here. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So let's see if we can find it. Here's our first chart. Some are going to be cloudy, not cloudy. They're going to be unusual for you to see. You won't expect to see them like in this one, but they're there. We just have to show them to you so that you can start recognizing them. Okay, so here we go. Remember that trend line that we said in there? Price wouldn't go past it. Here's push one that came down, stopped right there. Okay, it didn't go down past this one, this thing here. So we have a good push one coming down. All right. Now then, let's talk about the clip. Before I just said, okay, we started right here, we take it down here, we'll swing it around and see what we get. Okay, we're going to change the way we look at it. I want you to just look at push one initially. See how we got on push one? You get one came down, and it came back up, came down again, went back up again. So we start at the peak, and then we go through what kind of points of inflection we can find. Right in here, when it went from here to up and then down again, that's a point of inflection. There's that, and then this. You see, you can just start your clip on push one. All right, and then if you extend it, well, you see it missed. But however, look at this. You see this right in here? Baseline bounce. Where do you get baseline bounces? Off a push one pullback or a push two pullback. This is push two. So if that's push two, and we have to incorporate push two with our clip, what do? We just move it up to the bottom of it. And look what happens. It comes right down there. See? You start off up here, then you adjust it after you see your push two. Okay? That should give you a real good direction where the push three is. Okay? And then, so you get your 1, 2, 3, and you've got your right in here. See how it came back right through here into push one? It's halfway back on the push one pullback. All right. So then, look. Okay, so it's our classic. Now look at this. See how this push one was contained by the trend line? See this? This here is a baseline bounce. Yeah, I know they gave you a fake out like there, but then they bounced off of it without going down below it. Really, they didn't go below this red line here, whatever the heck that is. That's a slower EMA. Okay. So then, here we go. Let's look at another one. We're coming down here. This is our clip. This is our push one. See how far away it stayed from push one? Here, see, it didn't take this out at all. Nowhere near it. Okay, so now let's look at our clip. See, we start down here. See the points of inflection? We get this pullback here and this one up in there. And see how it just started? It came up right along there. That's all I have to do. You can just do that, then extend it. Look how it extends. Okay? So instead of being up here, putting this down here, going up here, oh, I don't know where to go. Look right here. Push one will generally tell you where it should go. And then you can adjust it once push two pullback is in. Oh, okay? So here we go. See it? Classic. Came right down there. Boom. Was that sweet or what? And what'd they do? Look how they induced people short past that. Then they cleaned out all the long traders right here. Total flipping of the book. So they don't have to spend any time there. Vector into that is excellent. Okay, so that's our classic. Next one. Look at, put our trend line in there. See, we're up here. It came down. Didn't break the trend line, did it? Didn't break that past that pullback there right there either. Didn't induce anybody past there. Okay. So we get rid of those. How do we put our clip in? Well, we'll start off right here. We'll start off at the peak. We went through the pullback in here. See how the price went above it, just sat out there for a little bit. It came down, and now it bounced off the bottom of the trend line right there. So that's how you do it. You start off right there. You put it down. You go, okay, it went way down here. Well, you don't see this right off the bat. What you do see is you can see, well, this is our two coming in here. So you adjust it with two. You see how we come in here? We're up there, so we still bring it right through there. See how it just gets right into that part there and it hits right in here? See that? And then you extend it down. And see how it caught everything nicely and sweet down here? Okay? So there's our numbers and there's our stop hunt. It's our classic. So what they do with this? They came back into the middle of this, but at the same time, they induced people past here. They induced longs, and they got all this, they stopped on everybody who was short. They had all the stops up in here. Totally flipped the book. So they're going out of there, and they did. So here we go. Here's another one. See, we get the trend line going up in here. So we got our push one right in here. Push one came down, and it didn't take that thing out. It didn't come anywhere near it. Okay. So how do we do our clip? Well, we start off right here. Okay. We start off right there, and we extend it. Okay, we got it. You can adjust it a little bit if you want, but I mean, really, between this and this, there's really not a lot of difference because the idea is push 3 has to extend below it. Personally, I like that one better, but this one works just as fine too. Because look at, see, we got the We're going through these points of inflection right there. We're bouncing right off the bottom there. And see how close we're coming into these things here. We hit that right there. So yeah, that's a good clip. So our numbers are right there, and uh, our push two pullback for the classic just came right into here. Why is it right in there instead of way up in there? Well, look how many times they worked that area up in there. They already did it that many times, so they don't. Those guys have all been cleaned out. So they don't have to go up there. So they're coming down here because why? They didn't quite touch that. Because why? Because on the move pass, it was a vector bar down past it. They didn't fill everybody right there. They filled them down here a little bit. They slipped the order. Hasn't that ever happened to you? Okay. So that's our classic. Here's our next one. Oops, look at this. I push one above it. This isn't push one because the price came down a little bit lower right there. See, it came down lower, so that's not push one. Oh, I've also noticed that. I've seen somebody label this one and this too. This can't be one right here because the price came lower. You have to start from the low or the high with your counting. This starting over here just doesn't work. Okay, you gotta start from right here and say this is one, not this. So that's what you gotta do. And well, the price one did take out the trend line, but it didn't take out this thing in here. That's your push two pullback. Okay, and so it came on down to the Mayo. What's this we have here? Baseline bounce, huh? But here we go. Okay, on the clip coming up through here, we start at the very bottom and see how we came right through this part in here and how we got a sudden change in price right there. So you just put it right through there, and then you go extend it out. It's fine. You can go up there if you want, but I mean this is perfectly good right there. So what's our count? 1, 2, 3, and we came back in here. Why? Because no one stopped under down here. This is too close to be doing it in here, and so no one stop hunted all these reversal traders or breakout traders in here, so we had to come down and clean them out. That's a good logical place to be, and you're right on the Mayo. Mayo's a great place. Then pop, up it goes. Okay, so that's your classic. Oh yeah, I already pointed that out to you, so getting ahead of myself. Okay, here's another one. So what do we have? So we got our little trend line in there. This is our push one right in here. And with nobody inducing pass here, so this is a good push one right in there. So we get rid of them. We start our clip in here. See how we just got it in here? We got push one going on the back side, and it comes down through here, and we extend it. Look how it goes. You don't have to come down here and worry about it. You just do it with push one. So what do we see? We see 1, 2, 3. So this isn't one down here because you see you got one, a pullback, then you have a little one, a little two, pullback, took out that one. So we have a I'm sorry, we have a whipsaw right in here off of this coming down. 1, 2. See, we've talked about whipsaws a few times. I'll tell them to you again. It came down to here, and this came back and stop hunted. Where did it stop hunt? Right in the middle, huh? Right in the middle there. They've already, I don't know why they went that high. I would have expected something in here. And imagine if you go down to the 1 minute, you would have seen a reverse divergence right off the water here where it popped up in there. You'd have to go up for the pop-up because you see that would be the high. So you put your order above that. Okay, so that's your classic. So what else do we have? Oh, we got another one in here, huh? Where is it? It's up here. That's the push one coming down. Okay, it didn't break this trend line. It didn't take out didn't induce anybody past this. So we got to push one down. So then how do we draw our clip there? Well, going to the points of inflection. Yeah, those two are points of inflection. Or you can go right there. Well, that's a bit too steep. So what do? See, you start from the high, the extreme, and you look for a point of inflection. This is a point of inflection, right, where these solid parts of the candles are, because you get the green going up and the red going down. So it's a sudden change right in this area in here. So you put your clip going through there and shoot down. And well, I didn't quite get everything, but what do we have in here? We got a 1 down, we got a 2 down. So to get where 3 should be going, we adjust off of 2. Hmm. Looks like so we went from up here, down there, down there. Is that good? I think that's better because what do we have? We're still going along there. Okay. You see how we got it bounces off this one and off of this one? Yeah, I would have liked to have had a point in here, but it didn't happen. So you got to look a little bit further over. Okay, so on the count, you got 1, 2, 3, and you got your stop point right in there, right there where they broke through. Again, I would have expected it down in here someplace because they went through it so hard, but it went up there. So you'd have to check on the 1 minute. You would have gotten a reverse divergence in here, and then it popped up, and there you go. So that's our classic. So how are we doing with this one? Well, here it is over here. See how the trend line comes down? So I push 1. It stayed inside the trend line, and it stayed inside of this point here. It didn't induce anybody along. Okay? So then, what do we do here for our clip? Well, we can start right here. We bring it up, up. It makes sense going right through there. Okay? But if you extend it, it doesn't work. So you have to adjust it. Okay? So you go 1 up, you hit a 2 up. And here it came down. So we adjusted off of 2 to look for 3. So we're right in here, and then right here. See, that's price is staying above the line, but price is staying below the line, and it's also coming up in here. So that makes a lot more sense. So we got a 1, 2. Our classic came back and stopped under these guys right in here. Okay, and then that's our classic. The next one, let's see where this one goes. Okay, we got our figures right in here. We could draw it up there, but no need to because this is already right here. So we got a high right here. We got a movement down in here. Just barely took out the trend line in here, giving the uh, trend players, traders, saying ideas. Oh, it's going to go long. Well, not really. Okay, and also see it didn't go past this point in here. It did take out the trend line, but it didn't take out this to induce anybody to go the right direction. So what do we do for the the clip? Oops, looks like I drew it from the wrong place. It should have been up here. Sorry about that. But we're just taking it through the pullback. You see where it hit that high point there and this little point there? So if you extend it down, there it is. There's really no need to change it. You don't have to come down here and say, oh, what's going on? Just look right up in here. This is a really good guide. And then once you get a push 2 that comes back, as we should number these things, push 2 comes back, you can start adjusting off of that. Because you see how we came up to this? So it came up there. We didn't even have to change it. So there's our this one here. Hey, finally we got one that lined up just exactly where we would expect. And this green line, that was last week's high of the week. This is the yen. Okay, so there's our classic. Then here we go. We got another one here, huh? What do we have? See, we've got a trend line in here. Looks like this is our push 1. It is. See? So how do we start our clip? We start from the high. We go through the point of inflection. You see how the price came down here, went up, and then suddenly slashed to it? You start right there. Start right there. See how it extends. Look at that, huh? So you put your numbers on there. And you come back and see they came back and stopped under the reversal traders right there. Okay, so then there's our classic. What else do we have? Oh, look at this. We have a 1 way up here. Nothing down here, nothing in here. Didn't induce anybody short with that breakout. Okay, so then what do we do with our clip? Start at the top, see where the price came down, went back up. There we go. That's a good start point, and look how it goes. There's our 1, 2, 3, and our stop hunt right in here. As you see, it went down and get the reversal trader here. That's good logic right in there. Okay, so there's our classic. One more, huh? Where's our clip? Here we go. That's not a clip, that's a trend line. I'm sorry, I'm getting. Never mind what I'm getting right now. So, we've got that one, and this right here. See? Push 1 didn't break the trend line, nor did it induce anybody short. So, where's our clip go? We put it in there like that, but if you notice, 2 didn't. It took a long time, so you had to adjust the clip. So we go from here, we went to the high of the pullback, and then we go through here. You can see how it goes through so nicely. Okay, so there's our numbering, there's that, and our classic is right there. One more. Okay, you've never seen one of these before. See this right here? Push 1 up. It was a breakout move. No one dealt with a breakout move before, did they? Well, this one is one. Okay, so how do we deal with it? We take our clip in here because there's no trend line, no breakouts, because it did. Okay, so we put our clip in here and see how it goes right through these things in here. That's off of push 1. We put it right through and we say, yeah, that's good. 1's here, 2's up here, and 2 came back into this mess in here. Wasn't the prettiest one? Well, this isn't the prettiest one. Okay, at least it didn't come down below this. All right, so that's our classic. So this is the end of it, and below this video I'm going to put a link in there so you can practice on these flashcards yourself. What I suggest you do, hopefully you have 2 screens. You can have the video on one screen and the flashcard on the other where you just mark it up. Just play the video and just mark it up as it goes along. Don't go way back to the beginning, just go back to where I start showing you how the account goes and you're marking up the charts. Okay, that's all you have to do. And once you're done with that, there'll be another link in there for a set of flashcards that I haven't gone over for you to practice on. Then I'll put it, so you'll have 2 sets of flashcards you can mark up. This one here, you should be able to just go through it, just follow the video, and it should show you how you'll get the comfort. You'll feel comfortable, and you start seeing, yeah, this works. I can see doing that. And once you can do that, it should follow through, and you should be able to do it on the ones that you haven't seen before. That's the whole thing to do. So try to get you to learn to recognize something in an environment that you haven't seen before. Okay? So that's what we're doing. So good luck with it, and I will be looking for comments. And also, please, when you do the other set of flashcards, if you could post them in the chat, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so good luck and thank you.